The following program is an OCA Media community-produced episode of Oregon Life, and we would like to thank our sponsor, the Oregon Brooklyn Optimist Club. We are proud to have you as a sponsor. Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, and welcome to a brand new episode of Oregon Live. Back in April, we got a gift, really, to go to the PAC, and I want to shout out to Nate Mendel for inviting us and bringing such tremendous talent to Oregon. Shows that we normally wouldn't see here. We'd have to go to Chicago or New York. So thank you, Nate, for doing all this. And upcoming this season, more incredible performers are coming to Oregon. In this one, we go behind the scenes a little bit. We got to see how Take Three, a trio of women performing for some students in the Oregon District, and they talk about their inception of how they came together. And we'll hear a little of their music on this episode of Oregon Life. Thanks for joining us.
Next on Oregon Life, Take Three.
So I started Take Three about 6 years ago, and I came out of college at a conservatory where you couldn't play too loud or too fast or too soft or too slow, and you had to, exactly to the letter of the law, follow every single thing the music said. And I felt like I wasn't able to express myself. So after college, I fought long and hard, and I had never, up to that point, ever played a pop song on the violin, and believe it or not, I didn't know that you could. And so here I am, waiting around to play classical music in front of audiences, and then I realized that what I really wanted to do was combine pop and classical. And so I created Take Three, and it was a very slow road. I got 2 concerts the first year, and then 4, and then 8, and it went on and on. And now I'm happy to say we're on the road about 300 days of the year. So it turned out okay. And we want to know if you have any questions about playing an instrument for a living, about starting a group, about what it's like to be a professional musician. We will come out and find you. Okay, let's do this.
What's the most important or biggest place you've played before?
That's a great question. What's the most important or biggest place you've played? So, actually, the biggest place that I've played, it was not with Take Three. It was actually with a famous pianist and composer named Yanni, who you guys don't know. He was huge for a long time, and he would play for 30,000 people in stadiums. And so I got to travel the world with him, and I got used to performing for 30,000 people at a time. And that's why I think I feel so comfortable and confident now with Take Three, because we play for much smaller groups of people, 1,000 at a time. And so I feel now like I've gotten that performing experience under my belt. Do you have a question?
What's your favorite song that you played?
What's our favorite song that we have played? Well, interestingly enough, our very first song was Game of Thrones. That was the first song we played, the one you just heard. And after we decided, hey, you know what? This is actually pretty fun. Maybe someone will pay us to do this. We're not sure, but we'll try. Yes, say your question out really loud.
So are you aware that some pop songs reuse classical tracks? Like Memories?
Yes, some pop songs do use classical tracks, and that makes me feel so good when they steal from us. There's no better feeling than pop stars stealing from classical musicians. I love that. Can we take song requests? Not right now, just because it's so hard to even just play the songs we already know. We cannot fit anything more into our little minds. This is a great question. Actually, I'm going to have Georgia answer this one. She's the category on meet, and we have a very fun meet cute, actually.
Yeah, so I moved to New York City for school, for music school, and just stayed there once I finished my degrees. And a couple months ago, I was riding the subway, as one does, and I do several times a day when I'm there, and I always have my cello case on my back and get a lot of comments. And Lindsay spotted me with my cello case bobbing in the crowded subway and followed me all the way onto the train. And we started talking about music, and then I ended up going over to her place and we played together and learned all the songs, and here we are. So that's our story. Sure, let's do some more questions. Whew. Oh, that's a really good question. If we were playing our instruments, what would I be playing? I'd definitely be playing the drum set.
What about you guys?
I have to agree with you on drums.
Yeah.
Drums?
Me too.
We want to be drummers, I suppose. I started off on Footloose, which is an 80s musical. They're here in town. Yeah! And then Abbey, Q, and then Into the Woods. There are plenty of others that I'm missing, for sure. But what's really great about, we're based in New York, and so we do go to a lot of shows, and sometimes on same days, you could get tickets for really, really cheap. And so hopefully you guys will get to New York and hang out someday.
How long does it take for everyone to practice a song?
So for this tour, we got together and rehearsed. We all had our parts ready to go, and we rehearsed for about 3-4 hours per day, about a week, I would say. But the preparation on individual basis is so important, as you know with orchestras. If one person doesn't know the part, then the rehearsal doesn't go on. Maybe not so much in orchestra, but with 3 people, it's much more exposed. So it's really important it's just like homework. You just kind of be prepared for anything that's about to happen.
So how do you travel across the country? Do you travel by bus or?
Lindsay has this joke that we travel with a manual transmission, 1970-something Volkswagen bus. But usually we have Lights and Lights of tour that we're all based in New York, and we would fly to the closest airport to our first venue, rent a car, and it's usually a minivan. Or sometimes we got a Jeep Grand Cherokee this time around. That's been fun to drive around. And so it's always a gamble what kind of car we get. And then we drive around. Sometimes, so to get to this venue, we came from Sault Ste. Marie, Canada, which was a 7-hour drive. So it's a combination of airplane and driving. It's very fun.
Do you improvise? And if so, how much do you think you incorporate with the music? And how do you work together?
That's a really good question. So sometimes we would have drummers and we would have guitarists, and I personally improvise a little bit because I was in a jazz band in high school, and I also studied jazz. I had jazz lessons in college, and so I really like improvising. I also worked for 10 churches when I was an undergrad. That's how I make good money. And to answer your questions about improvisation within music, we usually have like 8 bars of improv time, and then you can just play whatever within the chord structure. And so we kind of pass it around with each other and then really groove into each other, so it's really fun.
Just like individually, like how much do you practice your instrument every day?
That's a really good question. I think when we were growing up, we tried to practice 4 to 5 hours a day. Nowadays, it's a little harder with the travel schedule, so it varies from 0 for me to maybe like 3 or 4. Anyway.
Can you turn off your pack and play that?
Yeah.
heard tonight, make sure you come on